Full disclosure, last week my entire bookshelf collapsed, fell off of the wall. One too many books and the entire thing came crashing down. So it would be fair to say that I am a fan of books of all shapes and sizes. And sharing books with children is a fantastic way to build their language, share new experiences in far-flung places with them, and also to build interesting vocabulary. But today, I want to share with you something even bigger and better than books. Yes, there is such a thing, and that is stories. Now, of course, we share stories when we're reading books, but stories are peppered throughout our everyday lives, and we share stories in a variety of ways, even when we're not looking at a book. Whether it's the anecdote that you tell your friends about that time when your bookshelf fell down, or whether it's offloading on your husband at the end of a long day, stories are what help us to make sense of the world and to share it with others. And this is true for our children as well. We share stories with them to teach them new things, to keep them safe, and to have fun together. My name is Bryony Rust and I'm a speech and language therapist. And in this video, I'm going to share with you how you can take your favourite stories off the page and add some creative elements to extend your child's attention and inspire communication. Now, I suggest that you start by choosing a favourite story. Some of my favourites include The Duck in the Truck, The Very Hungry Caterpillar, and also Barry, the Fish with Fingers. When you choose a favourite story, it's already familiar to you and your child, so you can feel free and flexible to tell the story without being glued to the pages of the book, and you can adjust and ad-lib as you go along as you and your child are inspired to do so. Next, you want to think about what are the key elements in this story. Who are the main characters? What are the main events? What are the exciting things or sounds or happenings that take place in your favourite story? So think about what props you could use to represent each of these characters or events and get creative. If there's a frog in your story and you don't have a frog, perhaps you've got an old green scarf that you can use so that one of you can become the frog. If there's a kettle in the story, as there is in one of my favourites, think about what it is that makes that kettle interesting to a child and then recreate it. It's exciting, isn't it? The dog likes it. Have a wander through your house whilst you're thinking about this favourite story. Look at things with fresh eyes. Oh, maybe that could represent the astronaut in the story. Oh, maybe I could use that for that erupting volcano. Once you've gathered some props, put them all together in a basket or a bag so that you can add some anticipation and drama by having a big reveal as you pull out each of the characters or events within the story. I find that the supermarket bags for life are the perfect size for this. Next, you want to think about how you can integrate some sensory elements into this. What can your child hear or smell or touch or taste within the story to make it really interesting and intriguing? So you might think about what they can see. If you're using big gestures, that really helps. If we've got that astronaut, does he put on his helmet? If we've got that erupting volcano, how does it erupt? In this story, maybe you want to wrap yourself up in a cocoon. In this story, maybe you want to practice flying out of the window. Not literally, I mean gesture flying out of the window. Gestures are also really great because they help us to slow down and to emphasize the key words within our sentences, which helps our child to learn them. Think about what your child can hear in the story. Is there a character with a funny voice? Is there a bike? Is there a weird sliding down sound or a splash? And how can you recreate these sounds? You might use some musical instruments, or you might just improvise with what you have in the house. Maybe it's a shaker. Maybe you've got one of these noisy tubes. Think about what your child can feel in the story. So fabrics are a really great way to introduce texture. Crinkled up paper, newspaper, anything that has an interesting feel that might evoke something within your story. Natural elements are really good for this. So you might actually want to pick up some twigs for part of your story because they just have a much more interesting feel than anything that you can get made of plastic, for example. Or you might grab some straw the next time that you're at a farm or raiding your rabbit hutch. Fabric is also a really great one for introducing different elements and giving your child something to feel and explore. For an extra bonus point, consider if there's anything in the story that you can add that relates to smell or taste. These are harder sensory elements to integrate into something, but I've certainly used a fruit snack time within The Very Hungry Caterpillar, and you know, I don't think I've ever introduced a funny smell into a story. Can you think of a story that includes something smelly that we could add into a story? Let me know in the comments below. Making use of all the senses within your story not only makes it really interesting and appealing, but no matter what stage of development your child's at, they can be an active participant in the story, and it also gives you a rich variety of language to use yourself. Finally, I encourage you to be flexible and to go slow. One of the delights of ditching the book in favour of simply sharing the story together is that you can adjust the narrative. So if your child is particularly interested in one element of the story, you can do that for as long as you want. If you don't have the book, then the story can simply take shape as you play with it. This also gives you the opportunity to be really attentive to your child's point of interest and to show them that their ideas are really valuable. It's a great exercise in modelling to your children how sometimes things don't go how we expect them to, and we have to just go with the flow. That's a good life lesson, I think. I also wrote a blog post on the subject of creating sensory stories, so I'll link that below for you. If you liked this video, do please give it a thumbs up. Feel free to share with a friend. Don't forget to post in your comments any ideas of your favourite books that we could create together into a sensory story. A bonus point for anything that involves smell. And remember to hit subscribe for new videos every week, and I'll see you soon.